What's up, Pod Pals? It's your buddy Adam, and you're checking out Podcasting Business School. It's the show where I teach podcasters how to love their podcast like a hobby and build it like a business. This is a very special podcast audit session with my new pod pal, Christina from the Impactful Parenting Podcast. Christina, how's it going?
I'm doing good this morning. How are you, Adam?
I'm great. I'm fired up. I'm always excited to meet new pod pals, and I'm ready to dig in. First things first. Great job on the name of your show. Like, I think that's the most recommended thing when I do a podcast audit. I'm like, okay, we probably need to change the name of your show. We need to rebrand. And with you, I feel like I get the gist of what it's about. I get the vibe. Now that you've sent me some information, I'm like, oh, this is making sense. So first off, kudos to you on correctly naming your show. Good job.
Thank you.
All right. So we can check that off the box. Let's look at where you want to focus. So obviously, it sounds like you really are looking for some more audience engagement, more downloads, getting the right people in front of your show so that, they can dive into your app and your offers and things like that. Is that still sounding correct to you?
That's exactly what I need.
Okay, cool. So let's look 6 months down the road and that is happening. Can you just paint that picture for me so I can dial in on this goal a little bit more? So we're crushing it with downloads. What does that look like? What does that feel like for you?
Yeah, so it looks like I'm getting at least 100 downloads with every episode. It looks like I'm getting people commenting and maybe even making rating on whatever social the platform they're listening from. So they're giving me 5-star ratings saying this is a great podcast. And it feels amazing. It feels like I'm finally reaching people. My message is getting out there and I'm helping people, which is the most important thing to me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it says it in the name of your show, Impactful Parenting. And I can tell that you are passionate about this. So, yeah, you're doing this for the right reasons. Now, what would you say, Christina, is the biggest roadblock to your download growth goals that you have so far?
I think one of the biggest roadblocks is that it's not my main vehicle. So it is a vehicle that I use. My Impactful Parenting podcast is a vehicle I use to promote my app. So it's not the main vehicle. And because it's not the main vehicle, I don't give it probably enough attention as I should. At the same time, I'm not ignoring it at all. So it's definitely something that I want to nurture and put some more time in. But realistically, this is one small component of a bigger business.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
probably.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah. So when you say vehicle, you mean like marketing method as far as like where it fits in your business funnel and things like that. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I run into this a lot, and this is something that I think not a lot of podcasters think about enough. So I'm glad that you're recognizing this and thinking about it, because for me, I'm kind of the opposite. Like, the podcast is the tip of the funnel. It is the funnel in a lot of cases. And everybody that ends up doing business with me, usually 99.9% of the time, it's via the podcast. And that creates a lot of time leverage for me, because now I can speak to all my right people. They're coming to me. I'm not having to go out and search. So that's nice. So I can definitely teach people how to do that. But I think for you, we just need to get the ball rolling in the right direction and show you how this can be effective, but also be efficient for you time-wise, where it's like, okay, I got to show Christina results, but we got to do this. Like, what's the lowest hanging fruit marketing wise? What's those first few foundational steps to make sure the right people are finding your show? That way you can, I know that somebody like you that's very business minded and you got a great system put together with an app and all, great offers. I checked out your stuff. They look great. But with you, we got to show you the money. It's like, all right, this is coming through. The impact is happening. The engagement's happening. And now we're able to put people through the system. So do you feel like I'm on the right track here?
I do.
Okay. So first things first, like low hanging fruit marketing impact, we got to look at SEO. I think the name of your show, we're good with the word parenting in there. Like I said, I kind of feel like I know what it's about. The other two areas we got to look at is the description of your show. I really want you to make sure, like where do you host your show? Like Libsyn, Buzzsprout, any of those
Podbean.
names? Podbean. Okay, cool. So you go in Podbean, and you have the area where you can update like your cover art and all that stuff, you want to go to the description of the show, and I want it to be thick with keywords. That's going to be very important to having your best people finding you. So whatever you think your ideal client would be searching for on the internet, and your hope would be that they find you, we need those words in that podcast description in your host. And I'm not talking about individual episodes. I'm just talking about the show, like the about the show area. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And then towards the end of that, now certain hosts limit the characters there. So you got to kind of be mindful how much text you put in there. But at the end of that, my secret recipe is I want you to list what I call the Googleable questions. So as many as you can get. Once you have the general description, this is what it's about, here's who it's for, lots of keywords. I like to put something like, if you find yourself asking questions such as, and then we go Google question, Google, and just list them as many as you can fit in there. That's going to help a ton. I've got my clients in my own show, I won't say all, but it's very common lately, especially when I get a new client and I go, hey, how did you find me? They go, I just searched podcasting tips or how to make money as a podcaster in Spotify and Apple Podcast, and my show is pulling up. And that's because of the description, those questions, or it'll pull up on Google, which is great too. So that's going to help a lot. And that's just, you fix it once, we're good. Like that, it's set it and forget it for the most part. We can always update and optimize, but it seems like you're pretty dialed in on your brand. So I don't think you're gonna have much problem with this. And you can always ask your community, what question would you enter in Google if you were looking for information, like I always talk about, and just see what they say and then put those things in there. So is that making sense so far?
Absolutely.
Okay. Then once you figure out some of those Googleable questions, I would love to see you start naming some of your episodes as those questions, because that will help also. So the three core areas for search engine optimization are the name of your show. I think we can check that box. We're good. The description in your host, which we just talked about, and then each individual episode name. Those can be pulled up in a Google search as well. So that's why I use the term podcasting tips a lot, or how to monetize a podcast, tips for podcast launch optimization, or whatever. Like, I'm like, what are people putting in Google? Okay, that I just need to use that a lot, and it's going to show up, and use them in different order. So podcasting tips for, or XYZ podcasting tips. So put it at the beginning, put it at the end, because a lot of podcasters like, I don't want the titles to all be the same, but so you can switch it around a little bit. So is that making sense?
It does.
Okay. So those are low-hanging fruit, fairly easy things to do there. Then I think the next step is going, all right, let's get super efficient and organized with our marketing. And the main filter for me is, where are my people hanging out on social media? So how would you tend to answer that question as far as like 80%, 75% plus? If you had to pick one social media platform, where are most of your ideal clients hanging out?
I think if I had to pick one, it's going to be Instagram.
Okay, cool. The Instagram is also my jam. So this will be easy. That makes it easy. I was just like, don't say Facebook. Don't say Facebook. All right. Just kidding. I mean, Facebook is all right. I'm kind of over it. But I do love Instagram. So what I would recommend is go, okay, a new episode comes out. What day do your episodes come out on?
On Thursdays, every Thursday.
Okay, every Thursday. Great. I love that answer too. That was kind of a subliminal test, because you're like, well, on the 21st of the month, and maybe the next Tuesday after that. So I like every Thursday, Adam. Cool. Yep. That's what I like to hear. All right. So Thursday, I want you to look at a 72-hour promotion window, because this is how we take advantage of the algorithm that's within Apple Podcasts, Spotify, a lot of the bigger podcast players. So what happens is you release new content, and there's approximately a 72-hour window where the more activity you drive to that content, the more those apps will share your content when your terms are being searched. All right. So for me, when I release a new episode on Tuesday, and I drive as many people in those first 3 days, especially when people are on Apple searching podcasting tips, I'm more likely to pull up, because Apple's going, wow, this guy's bringing a lot of people to the show here on our app. So it kind of takes advantage of that algorithmic juice. A lot of podcasters will spread their marketing over a week until the next episode. And I would challenge you to spread or to condense your marketing into a 72-hour promotion window to get as many people to listen to it, new and old. So people that are subscribed already, let's get them to listen to it in the first 3 days. And then also let's attract some new subscribers to get to listen to it so that Apple and Spotify share our stuff out. Is that clear or is that confusing?
No, that's
Okay.
very clear.
Okay.
72 hours. Start
72 hours.
making those posts and posting them 72 hours prior
Yeah.
to release.
Yes. And it doesn't have to be a post. Here's where we can have some fun with this. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
So now that we know Instagrams are jam, we release on Thursdays. We're looking at Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as far as a promotion window. Now we go, okay. Next goal for me, and this is something we build up to, especially when we're trying to be efficient. I don't want this to become a chore, is I would love for you to have 5 unique marketing assets that you release to drive people to your show in that 72-hour window. All right. So with a marketing asset, that could be an Instagram reel. That could be like a you face to camera Instagram reel. That could be a highlight clip of the episode Instagram reel. It could be a carousel post with the 3 top takeaways from the episode. It could be an Instagram live. All right. I do all of the above. And it's very efficient once you get into a flow, especially with the reels and things like that. I mean, how are you with like face to camera? Are we nervous about that? Are we okay with that?
I do a lot of it, so I'm totally fine.
Perfect. Okay. So this is going to be your jam. And we want to spread these. Also, email marketing, I count that as a marketing asset. So when I email my list on Wednesday morning, I include a little recommendation. Usually there's kind of a through line of what I'm talking about that week. And then there's a little recommendation. Hey, if you love these tips, you're going to love this episode. Go check it out. So email marketing, that's a really great method that's off of Instagram. So if I was you, I would shoot for some sort of an email to your list and then 4 Instagram assets that you put out in 72 hours. So it could be AM, PM on Thursday, AM, PM on Friday, and then 1 email that goes out at some point, probably on Thursday or Friday. And we're good in 48 hours, which I like a lot. And then reel wise, like I said, you can do tips, you can do mistakes. I've been doing a lot of, I actually get better engagement when I do a mistake based reel or carousel post compared to a tips. It's just kind of psychological, I guess. Like I've been working with one of my coaches, Ellen Yin, and she's like, yeah, it's just, it provides better expert positioning for you when you are pointing out mistakes. When you give away too many tips, some people are like, I don't need to pay him for anything because he's giving me all the tips. But when you're identifying mistakes and starting to point people in the right direction with recommendations still, I don't know. I get a whole lot more engagements. That's something for everybody to try out. If you do a lot of 3 tips for, go, okay, what are the tips for, but what are the mistakes that people are making? So the other side of that coin, and base the content off of that, see if you get better engagement. So that's an experiment that we can all try. But yeah, something like that with an Instagram reel or carousel post. What I do is Tuesday morning, I do a 60-second highlight clip that I turn into an Instagram reel. So just a direct clip off of the episode. That night, I do a live where I have a through line topic about the episode. It's just like one little niche section of it. So if I've got 5 tips about something, I'll just pick one of the tips, talk about that, and go, if you love this, you're going to love the episode. So that's kind of the theme all week. Is like, if you love this, you're going to love the episode also. Go check it out. And then I'll do a carousel post with my 4 top takeaways from the episode. I'll do a carousel with my 3 mistakes that have a through line connection with the episode. And I'll do my newsletter marketing. And that's my 5 things. So any thoughts about how you may want to arrange it or what sounds like a good marketing asset for you? Because I don't want this to take a bunch of time as well. So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that the lives are going to be super easy and very fast. That's no work to be done prior. Where
exactly.
Taking clips, I do that anyway for Instagram posts. So that's good. I could keep that as being one. That's something I'm already doing. As you were speaking, I was thinking I am active on Clubhouse, and I should be probably promoting Thursday and Friday when I get on there, because I get on Monday through Friday on Clubhouse.
Perfect.
I should be plugging my podcast and every time I do a room. So I need to do that. I need to make that a priority.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And I love the fact that you're recognizing how easy it is to do lives and stuff. Once people get over whatever it is they got to get over and just hit the live button, they find out, wow, this really, I can just create content and it turns into a post and I can share it and all this stuff. And I didn't have to do all this stuff on Canva or anything to create the images. So I love that. And with Clubhouse and with your lives, what I would challenge you, like I do my lives on Tuesday evening because I release my new episode on Tuesday morning. And I go, okay, what snippet or what subtopic of my episode can I talk about on my live so that there's that connection? You do the same thing with the Clubhouse room. So the topic of your room discussion, make it somehow related to your episode so that you can have the old, if you like this, you got to check out my new episode. The link's at the top of the pay of the room here. Go check it out. Or if you have a guest, try to pull them into your room or your Instagram live with you so that you could introduce your audience to them. Go, hey, and if you love this conversation, you're going to love my episode. Go check it out. So all of that, and it's easy content. And I think just with these simple steps here, you're going to be driving a lot of new people to your show, especially via the Clubhouse route. I still am a believer in the club because I know a lot of people have gotten off of it, but whenever I get on there, I end up with a whole bunch of new podcast listeners and Instagram followers in addition to Clubhouse, relationships. So yeah, so I would map that out. As far as the timing wise, I like doing it the evening of a morning podcast release, or you want to give them some time to listen to it because sometimes when you get in the routine, your audience knows, oh, Christina's going to do a Clubhouse room the evening of the show release day. I need to listen to the episode so that I can come there with questions and go on, you said this or that. What did you mean by that? Or ask questions of the guests. So it's for promotion, but it's also for follow-up and connection with your audience where they can actually ask you questions about what you talked about in the episodes. You talk about engagement. That's where we create super fans. So does that make sense?
It does. And I'm actually sitting here going, duh, in my head going, why haven't I been doing this? I organically already host a Wednesday night Clubhouse room and a Friday morning Clubhouse room. And my podcast comes out Thursday. So yeah. I don't understand. I'm just kind of going, duh.
Yeah. So, well, here's the reason. It's like you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, and you're a marketer, and a lot of people that, fit that bill slot podcasting in to a similar slot as like a Facebook post or an Instagram post. Like I post a thing on Instagram and then I do a podcast episode, but really to me, it's much more than that. It's this whole ecosystem. It's a relationship building ecosystem where you can nurture relationships with ideal listeners. Hopefully they become super fans and those super fans become clients. So you just haven't thought about it in the way that I try to get people to think about it. And we got to run you through this podcast audit filter so I can kind of shake you loose and go, listen, the potential is here for so much more, but wait, there's more. So that's kind of where we're at. So don't beat yourself up about it. But I really like this little system. You already are doing the work. All we have to do is kind of take that laser beam and point it at a slightly different angle and blast away with I just want you thinking about what am I already creating content wise and how could I create that simple through line where I can go, if you like this, you're going to love this week's episode. And that's just kind of the little filter you use and you're going to crush this, Christina. So I'm pretty pumped. I think this is simple and to the point. This is exactly what I want you to do and then put in reps. Now, I don't know if you've got a hold of my podcast growth scorecard yet, but if not, I'll send you a copy of it. It's free anyway. It's not like you're getting a special deal or anything. Sorry, I would hook you up if it did cost something, but it is a great tool to gamify your marketing. So like when you go on Clubhouse, you get 3 points. If you do Instagram Live, you get 3 points. If you do a carousel post, you get 1 point per image. I've gamified podcast marketing, and I recommend that people go through and use it for 28 days. And you go, okay, here's what I scored in total in 28 days. Now I'm going to try to beat it. And always the downloads go up. There's a direct correlation with your score and your downloads just because you're getting organized with your marketing and you're going, okay. And then you start to see through lines of, wow, I do more Clubhouse rooms or more Instagram lives, downloads go up. Cool. Correlation. Let's keep doing that. And then let's get rid of this other thing that isn't, like Pinterest or whatever, that is wasting your time, or whatever it may be. So I'll make sure that you got a copy of that as well, because I think that would be helpful. So I think homework wise, we got to look at the simple SEO updates that we talked about. We look at your 72-hour window, find that through line, and you're going to start seeing results. I can pretty much guarantee it. That sounding good?
It sounds amazing. I appreciate the help so much.
Yeah. That's why
I'm
I
on
do
the
these.
precipice of greatness, and I just can't get over the hump.
Well, here's the thing. You've got a great show. You have great content, and you've got a great business around it. And I see the funnel. All we have to do is create what I call that community client bridge. We got to get your listeners. First off, we got to get more listeners, more super fans. Then we got to build that bridge with opportunities to get into your world, build relationships, and these people will convert into your offers. You got good stuff. I love the free app thing. I think all that's going to work. So it's simple and it's right to the point. So yeah, like you said, you're on that precipice, and hopefully some of this stuff helps you get a little bit closer. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adam.
Outstanding. Now we got to make sure we shine a spotlight on your brand. Where do people go if they want to check out your website, social media, podcast, all the things?
Yeah, it's all about the impactful parent. I help parents of school-age children turn their chaos into connection with their adolescent. So I primarily do that through my app, which is free to download, just like you said. It's available on Apple, Google, on your app store. You have nothing to lose. It's help right in your pocket. That's what I wanted to do for parents, is not have people Google things on the Google machine and go down the rabbit hole of crazy. Instead, have a reliable source whenever they need it, literally right there in their pocket for them, where they could check it every day or once a month or whenever they need it. And you're going to get answers to some of your most common questions, which I will start making podcast episodes on them. Things like how do I get my child to stop procrastinating? What do I do if my child's talking back to me? When's the right time to let my child wear makeup? I mean, anything across the board. It's all inside the app, so you should go check it out.
Nice. I'm going to download it right away, because we're having the discussion with my 11-year-old. Is he ready to have his own phone? So, yep, I'm on it. I'm on it.
There's stuff in there for that.
Yes, I knew it. I had a feeling. All right, Christine, I appreciate you coming on. And any of you that are listening in, if you would like to hop in for a podcast audit, you've seen how impactful it is for the Impactful Parenting Podcast. Jump on the list. It's a little bit of a wait right now. We're booking people into 2023 right now. So hop on that list. It's at podcastingbusiness.school. And with that, I'm going to send you out into the world, wishing you health, happiness, and many downloads. We'll see you next time.